Hey everyone, and welcome to Mrs. Ross Does Math. Today's lesson is lesson 11. This is out of our second unit, okay? And our focus today is on subtracting integers. Now, as we learned about in lesson 10, an integer is a positive, negative, or zero whole number, okay? So we're going to continue to subtract here negative and positive numbers together. And we're going to learn about it right now. Your essential question for today is, how is subtraction related to addition? So we're going to get things started. Please go ahead and make a 2-column chart with your first column a little bit skinnier than the other side. And we're going to have modeling be the title of our first column. Okay? And then notes will be the title of our second column. And I apologize, I forgot to write that in here. So notes. Here we go. So when we are taking a look at subtraction, okay, one of the things that we can utilize is anytime we have a positive and a minus, they create a zero pair. So if I have one positive number and one negative number and they're the same number, they're going to cancel out and give me 0. An example of this would be -2 and +2. They, when combined together, cancel out and give us 0. So keep that in mind as we move forward. Now, when we are talking about subtracting negatives, we have a couple of different items that will help us. So we've got a saying to start us off with that is have is the first number. Your second number is the takeaway. And all together that gives you your leftover. So an example of this would be -7 minus 5 equals blank. Now, if you are a visual person, number lines are really, really helpful. Okay, so keep those available to you if needed. So we have -7. We're taking away 5. Because if I move my hand in front of this minus, I'm just left with 5. So if I borrowed $7 and then I took away another $5, how much would be left over? Or in this case, what would I owe? So using this number line here, I'm going to put a dot at my -7. And because I'm having to take away, I'm going to go further on my negative side. So I'm going to go back 5 times. And when I do that, my answer is -12. So that is what we would put in right here. Now you could also think of this through using the negatives and the positives that we talked about last time. So here I've got -7. So I've got 7 negatives. And below it, I've got 5 negatives. Now here, there's nothing that we could cancel out. So that tells us that what we're just going to have to do is combine all of these negatives together, which would end up giving us -12. Now let's take a look at the number, our second example here. So let's say I have 6 and I take away 8. So let's say I have $6 and I need to give a friend $8. I'm not going to have enough, so I'm going to have to owe them some extra money. So once again, we can use our plus signs here. So I have 6 plus signs and I have 8 negatives. And all together, when we cancel them out, we get 2 negatives remaining. So again, I have $6. I take away 8. My leftover is -2. All right. Now, occasionally, we're going to run into something like this. It says 4 minus -5. Now, when we have a minus and a minus that are right next to each other, and it looks just like this, they happen to combine together and create a giant positive. So 2 small minus signs right next to each other create a giant positive. So what I actually have is 4 plus 5, which is going to give us 9. So 9 is our final answer. Here we go. Now, another method that we could use when we are subtracting positive and negative numbers is we can use the same add opposite method. So subtraction is also the same as adding the opposite. And this is what I'm talking about. If I have the problem, just like we did on the front side, of negative 7 minus 5, I can change, or in this case, keep the same here. So I'm going to keep my negative 7 the same. I'm going to change my my subtraction to addition. And then I'm going to put the opposite of my 5. The opposite of 5 is negative 5. And negative 7 plus negative 5 give us negative 12. So we can use same add opposite to our subtraction toolbox. So let's go ahead and practice. We're going to draw some lines separating these items out. And for this particular practice problem, we have negative 2 minus 6. I'm going to keep my negative 2 the same. I'm going to change this to addition. And then I'm going to look at the opposite of 6. That's negative 6. So what would be negative 2 plus negative 6? You got it. We'd get negative 8. So negative 8 would be our final answer. Next, we have this problem here. So we have 12 minus negative 12. So I'm going to write this in there. So I'm going to keep my first number the same. I'm going to change my sign to addition. And then what's the opposite of negative 12? It's positive 12. So my problem is actually 12 plus 12, which can give us 24 as our final answer. Now, I have one final trick for you and one final problem. I'd like you to take a moment, go ahead and pause this video, and I want you to try this one. Negative 9 minus 7. I'll give you a moment, and when you're ready, go ahead and unpause. All right, great work. So here we go. Let's double check your answer. So we kept our first number the same. We changed our sign to addition. And we changed our 7 to negative 7 because that's the opposite. So now I have negative 9 plus negative 7, which is going to give me negative 16. Awesome. Great job, you guys. Okay, now, if you are still struggling with subtracting our positive and negative numbers, think of negative numbers like money. Negative numbers are money that's borrowed. Positive numbers is money that you have. Okay, so keep that in mind if you are still stuck. All right, now, what I'd like you to do is to head into Canvas. Your assignment today is actually a textbook assignment, and I've put the copy of the textbook that you'll need for this lesson in Canvas. So please go ahead and utilize that, and you'll be text entrying your answers for this particular assignment. So in Canvas, your assignment is going to be Lesson 11, and it is numbers 8 to 22. All right, now if you have any questions at all, please reach out to me. I am here to help. Thank you so very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. This has been Mrs. Ross Does Math.